My number one goal is to always to provide a great space for, men and young men in our community to go and, get a good haircut with great people. So, I got some things in the works.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Lyfe Podcast. Today I am sitting here with Enrique Barajas.
Yes,
Did I get it
sir.
right?
Got
Come
it right,
on, man.
Yeah, you got it
Good
right.
deal. I've wanted to talk to you for actually quite a while.
Yes.
And we just have, timing just hasn't worked out.
Right.
You cut both of my boys' hair.
Yep.
And literally, I hear your name around town all the time.
Cool.
Like you are the man as far as haircuts go. I
Cool.
mean, you've developed a very, very good reputation in a short amount of time.
Yeah, really cool, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. So thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is awesome, man.
I'm excited.
Good deal. Well, obviously you own, well, I shouldn't say obviously because maybe people don't know, but you own the Maverick at the Den and Salon G here in town.
Yes.
And we're going to get into that in a little bit, but really kind of want to get to know, dude, who you are, man.
Yeah.
Like, talk to me. Like, you're a wrestler. I remember hearing that. So talk to me about that. Like, where are we at?
So I was born and raised in Northern California in the Bay Area, near Oakland. The town's called Hayward. I started wrestling probably around 9th grade, actually. So I was too small to do any other sports, really. And then when I found wrestling, it just clicked. It was like, okay, everybody goes against somebody their own weight. And it just seemed fair to me. And that was my first love. My first passion was wrestling. Wrestled all 4 years of high school, wrestled all the way through college, got my degree in psychology because of wrestling. I was able to get a scholarship because of that. And I take a lot of what I learned in wrestling into being an owner and into being a barber, using my degree, which was psychology, as a barber, which ironically, that's not how I planned it, but that's how it worked out.
Yeah, that's sweet, man.
Yeah. I've been in Coeur now for I got here 2020. So almost 6 years. I came up here actually to help coach wrestling at NIC. Never heard of the place, but came out here in the middle of July and like many other people just fell in love with it.
It's awesome.
Eventually met my wife out here.
Come on.
Eventually had my daughter with my wife out here. And then now have, met some really cool people and have been able to own Mavericks at the Den and Salon G. So Coeur d'Alene has been very I've been also cutting Cason's hair for about 4 years.
Yeah.
So when he was playing basketball for Lake City, and I've just kind of seen him grow into, this great young man who has a mustache and goatee now. So
yeah, he does.
So, and then I cut Cotto. Last time I cut Cotto, he was telling me he was going on a date. So,
dude, he is. He's got himself a girlfriend. And,
what the heck's that about?
Come on, man. They get old quick and they just, they become men, like before your eyes. So it's crazy. So, man, cherish the time with your daughter. It goes by quick.
Yeah, man. She's the best. She's the best. She's the best part of my day.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, kind of getting into wrestling, I've never wrestled.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't say that. I remember like in Park and Rec, like I was like 5 or 6 years old, I wrestled. Yeah. And the only thing I can remember is like, it's intense. You're like, you can't go like 60% for even a second. Yeah. Otherwise you're done.
Yeah, correct.
So it's 100% all the time.
Yeah, that's probably one of the greatest things I loved about it, man. It's like if you get out of it what you put into it. If you go half speed, you're going to get half speed results. And so I always try to go full speed and, try to take that into what I'm doing now. So it's the best sport in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's cool because I do know a chunk of wrestlers and they have the similarity that I have for all of them is they know what 100% is. They know what giving it your all means. And it's again, because I think in that wrestling match, I mean, you might be able to, and I'm not a wrestler, so I'm probably getting the verbiage wrong, but I'm guessing that when you get someone in a specific hold, maybe you can catch your breath a little bit. Yeah. Pretty much not very often can you catch your breath. It's like go time.
Yeah, no, that's correct. Yeah, no, that's correct. You can get into these little spots where you're like, okay, I can breathe a little bit. But that's very short lived, Yeah. Then the next second you're probably on go mode again. So
yeah.
And then everything else that ties into wrestling, I would say the discipline is probably the biggest thing.
Yep.
A lot of the times, especially in high school and college, you're cutting weight, and a lot of people have probably seen wrestlers cut weight. It's kind of crazy. We'll put plastic bags on, trash bags on. We'll try to lose 6-7 pounds in one night.
Buckets.
Yeah, and it's tough. So having to go through a grueling practice and beat your body down and wrestle, and then also go home and maybe eat a banana. It's having that discipline. I think that just ties into everything that I love about, wrestling and having that mindset in life, really.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, brother.
So when did you decide, I know your degree's in psychology. You get out of college, you got a degree in psychology, and then you become a barber. Yeah. So talk to me about how that happened, man.
Yeah. So I went to college really, to wrestle. And they told me I had to get a degree. So I was like, all right, psychology seems interesting. And it was. So that was a degree I chose. Oh, no real plan to do anything with it. For some reason, I thought wrestling was never going to end. Yeah. And then one day it ended. And I had to decide what I wanted to do with my life. So I'm about, 23, 24 at the time. After Nebraska, I had moved to Washington, and brand new state, didn't know anybody, so I was really lost. Had no idea what to do with my career, with my life. Very, very challenging time, very dark time for me, I would say. So I ended up driving from Washington to Nebraska back to my old college because I needed to see my old buddies. I was kind of in a bad way, and I needed kind of that love and that camaraderie I got from my wrestling team. And before then, I had started cutting my own hair to save money. And so when I got to Nebraska, I said, well, now's the perfect time to try this haircutting thing on my friends, my teammates. Oh. So that's the first time I tried cutting somebody else's hair. And man, I was messing people up. I was not giving good haircuts, but they were my friends. They were my boys. So, they didn't really care. And I loved it. I just loved everything about it. Like just being able to talk to my guys, give them a haircut, even though I sucked at the time. Just the whole feeling about it was just really cool, man. And so when it was time for me to pack up and leave Nebraska and go back to Washington, on the drive home, it was a 24-hour drive, and pretty much the dead of winter, blizzard, barely made it. I said, I'm going to be a barber. So I go home, I call my barber school, I enroll, I think a couple weeks go by, and then I'm sitting in orientation, ready to become a barber, ready to see if this is going to work out. And here I am 8 years later.
Yeah, that's super cool.
And I'm doing it, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. And the crazy thing is it's interesting because your degree's in psychology.
Correct.
I know, like sitting in, when I go get a haircut or whatever, that, like at my age, I'm 55. So at my age, I'm not doing like super cool, I got to get this type of haircut or whatever. Yeah. But what I take from my experience when I'm sitting in the chair is like, am I having a cool conversation with somebody?
Yeah.
And I definitely, I had some barbers here in town that I've gone to, and just my schedule's so crazy, it's hard to do that. But I definitely miss that, that conversation and that so I think the degree, your psychology degree, probably actually, you might not have intended it to be what, use it, but you probably is very helpful.
Oh yeah, ironically, it just it worked out because I think when you go get a haircut, you want a good haircut, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You want a good haircut.
Yeah.
But I think you also want a good experience, and sometimes a good conversation, or sometimes no conversation. Sometimes it's good to know when the person in your chair doesn't want to talk.
Yeah, they just want to be silent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that psychology background I'm not saying I'm an expert, but it's kind of give me a good insight into how to read body language, how to read tone and stuff like that, to where I'm like, okay, does this guy want to have a good time and talk and you laugh it up, or does he just want me to shut up and just cut his hair?
Yep.
And I think that's more than half the battle when it comes to barbering.
Yep.
Knowing your client and then giving a good haircut, that's a plus.
Yeah. Oh, and here's the deal. I'm the same person, but I've been both customers. There's times where I want to be like, dude, I just want to sit here and like, I might have a business deal going on in my mind, or I might have like a stressful situation. And I'm like, dude, I just want to be silent and, don't talk to me right now.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be rude. And then there's times where I'm like, dude, like talk to me. Why are you so quiet? Right. So that's, I would say a very good, very good picture, because I think that having the ability to do that is probably one of the things that sets you apart. Obviously, you're very good at haircuts. Right. I mean, I hear that literally all over the place.
Yeah, thank you.
But I think that people also enjoy their experience with you.
Yeah, I hope so.
I guarantee it's like literally my boys will not go to any place else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you need a haircut. Like we'll be like on vacation, or I'm like, you need a haircut. I only go to Enrique. Dang that Enrique.
That's a cool feeling for me as well. Those are my guys, you know what I mean? But kind of piggybacking off what we were talking about, my barber instructor told me a good barber knows how to keep a conversation going. A great barber knows when to shut up.
Dude, that's good stuff, man.
Man, that's probably the best piece of advice he ever gave me. Sometimes you just got to shut up, man.
Yeah. I'm sure. So you went to work. What was your first place that you went to work at up here? If that's okay to.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I moved up here. I got a job at the Locker Room. It's a local chain. Many people might know. You get a free drink with your haircut there. It was all walk-ins. It was it was my first barbering gig, like professional barbering gig. So I was excited. I was excited to get going. Locker Room was a very cool place. I enjoyed it there. The business model did not work for me. And that's when I had to jump ship and kind of change gears. Yep. And then that's when I got into Mavericks. It was about 6 months into the Locker Room where I decided to go try my talents at Mavericks. And I started at the one on Ramsey across from Lake City High School. And I think they had just opened that shop maybe less than a year into me working there. Okay. So I remember it was me and the owner lobby kind of worked side by side pretty much every day. It was just us two for a while.
I think that's the first time Kaysen, I think you cut his hair at I did. Ramsey. That was his first time.
Yeah. So I would say that's when I started to attract a lot of the high school kids my way. And I think Kaysen was a big part of that, Yeah. I do, because he was on the basketball team. So and then he started telling, his buddy Reese, and then Reese told this guy, and then Reese told this guy, and then blah, 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 and then it just kept trickling. And so Lake City High School, I would say shout out to you guys. You guys helped me get going, man.
Good deal. Well, it's so convenient. Yeah. And then we live right there. But like literally, I remember the first time Kaysen went to you because, he's, I don't know if it's like ethnic hair. I don't know what you would call. I mean, he definitely doesn't have the same kind of hair as me.
Correct, right.
Neither of my boys do. And it was like, Dad, this is the guy that knows how to cut my hair. Yeah. And that was it. I don't actually think he's got a haircut from anybody else since that day.
I think you're right. He better not. No.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he'll be watching this. He'll be like, yeah, Dad.
Well, like I said, I'm going to talk to him tomorrow. He has an appointment.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. So you would work for Maverick for a couple of years, and then like an opportunity came about. Talk to me about that.
Yeah. So I'll kind of make this long story a little bit short because Mavericks, some people might know that it's also kind of a local chain, right? So probably 2 years at Ramsey, one of our owners, Mike, he decided to open up a shop in Sandpoint because he was living out in Sandpoint. And at the time, I was also living in Sandpoint, but I was commuting to Ramsey to cut hair. So when he told me that, it was like, well, if you open up a shop in Sandpoint, no brainer, I'll help you, I'll work there. So then I started working at the shop in Sandpoint. Then about a year into that, he said he was going to sell the Mavericks at the Innovation Den. He was actually going to sell it to another barber, but the other barber declined, said he wanted to do his own thing, and then he offered it to me. And at the time, my wife and I were thinking about moving to Coeur d'Alene, so it was kind of just a weird coincidence with the timing and everything. I said, well, yeah, sell it to me. I'll buy it. And so then I partnered with my good friend Dominic Longo, who owns Blue Zone Marketing, and together we put the funds together and we took over the barbershop in downtown Coeur d'Alene in the Innovation Den, which you might know as Mavericks at the Den now, and completely switched up the entire vibe. So it used to be surfboards and, really cool laid back theme. Then we switched it to a more classy gentleman vibe that kind of matched the vibe of the building a little bit more. Some people might know there's a speakeasy at the bottom of that building. Yep. And so it's very old school. It's very classic. And so that's kind of what we were piggybacking off of. We're like, well, let's try to match that vibe. The entire building kind of is cohesive, I guess, in a way. And so that's what we did. So we rewrapped the walls. We changed the chairs, the furniture, the pictures on the wall. We really changed everything about it. So a lot of customers, when they came in, said, wow, this is completely different. And we like it. And then fast forward now, I think this is year 3 for me, and we're still going, man. Hasn't fallen apart yet. So
yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, we're doing okay.
The crazy thing is, I remember, oh gosh, it was a while. I mean, it was probably 3 years ago, whenever that time was. I was sitting at Lyfe Public House, and I was talking to Mr. Thrasher, and he was telling me because, obviously he's very connected to the Innovation Den, but he was telling me about the it was coming, the changeover and stuff. And he was pretty excited about like the new, what was going to happen there. And I was like, dude, that's kind of crazy. He was genuinely excited about what the direction that it was going. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Him and Dominic, my partner, they have a pretty good relationship already. because Dom, the Blue Zone Marketing, is in that building.
Yeah.
So, and then I've talked to Rich a couple times, and great guy, and so we hit it off, and it's been a great deal, man. I am very thankful. I thank God every day that He gave me this opportunity, and we're just rolling. We're just rolling.
That's cool. I don't know Dominic, but man, another organization that has just a phenomenal name here in town is Blue Zone Marketing. Yeah. That's not an endorsement because I don't do it, but I mean they're like legit. I mean they do excellent work, and so I'm guessing that Dominic must be a totally good dude, man.
Dom, if you're listening, man, I love you, man. Thanks for partnering with me. You've been great.
Good.
Yeah.
Come on, did you see me just give Blue Zone Marketing?
Yeah, shameless plug. Blue Marketing,
come
man.
on.
Yeah.
Good deal. But I just call it like I see it. And I'm in the community a lot, and they've got a great name in the communities. Right. Dominic must be doing something right.
Yeah, and they handle all of our social media. So if any of you guys follow our barbershop page or our Salon G page, Blue Zone's behind all that marketing, all of our skits, all of our still photos, everything like that. They do a fantastic job. So everybody at Blue Zone Marketing, thank you guys, because you guys are killing it.
Come on, look at it. We're doing a commercial for Blue Zone.
I know, man. That's what I'm saying.
Well, cool deal. And if you're watching this, we'll have, if you don't follow his Instagram and website or whatever, we'll have the links down below so you can click on them and follow those. Fast forward a little bit, because not just Maverick at the Den, but you also have a salon.
Yeah.
So how'd that come about?
Yeah, Salon G. It's actually right around the corner from the Den, so it's on 5th and Lakeside, I believe. That one was just an opportunity that just came out of nowhere almost. So my wife actually is a cosmetologist as well, and she was working at that salon before we bought it for a while. And the owner, who lived in Lewiston, said that she was ready to sell. And so she told my wife, and my wife told me, and then I told Dom, and then we ended up buying the salon. It really wasn't in the playbook at all.
Yeah.
But it was just like this opportunity that really just arose out of nowhere, and we took advantage of it. And the goal is for that to be a completely functional women's salon. Color, highlights, blowouts, haircuts, all that type of stuff. And we'll see if we can get it going, man. It's kind of been a fun journey. It's a tough journey. It's actually a lot more different than a barbershop than I had realized. So I'm learning a lot doing it, but it's an exciting journey.
Yeah. How long has Salon G been open?
We opened in July of 25, so a little under a year.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Good deal, man.
Yeah.
Well, man, if you're looking for a salon, Salon G, man, let's support a local business owned by a totally cool dude, and man, give them some business.
Yeah, give us some business. We'd love to see you.
There you go.
Yeah,
we're just doing commercials.
I know, man. We're pretty good at it.
So, but you've got the Mavericks going on. Is there any what's happening with Mavericks? Is it just you're on kind of cruise control now, or are there new things coming, or
man.
where do you see it going?
Yeah, I'm always trying to push the envelope on how we can add better services to better serve the community.
Yeah.
My number one goal is to provide a great space for men and young men in our community to go and get a good haircut with great people. So yeah, I got some things in the works right now. Hopefully we start launching some things in the next coming months. We got 2 new barbers in there who just graduated barber school. So Isaiah and just great guys. I put my stamp of approval on them.
Come on.
If you can't get in with me, I promise you those guys will take care of you. And then of course we got Eileen in there. A lot of people might know Eileen. She's been at Mavericks for a long time, and she is a sweetheart. Eileen is one of the pillars of that barbershop. So
awesome.
Yeah, so we're just going to continue to push. We're going to continue to try to get better. Hopefully not ever be on cruise control.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got some things planned, and hopefully we announce some of those things here soon.
That's cool, man. Yeah, wrestler mentality, man. 100% all the time.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal. So you got how do you divide your time right now between the two, or how does that work?
Yeah, good question. My schedule is a little wonky at the moment. So I am a couple days at the barbershop and a couple days at the salon. And I'm working around, the people we have in there. So I want them to have their schedule, and then I'll work around them. But my plan long term is to be back at the barbershop full time. So the next couple months might be changing a little. My schedule might be changing quite a bit. Hopefully by the summertime, I will be in the barbershop at Mavericks full time again.
Yeah. Well, you had caused a decent amount of stress in my household when you were working in Sandpoint more often.
Yeah.
because, like I said, my boys wouldn't go anywhere else.
Yeah,
And
right.
so it was kind of like, Dad, you like, because they were, they would like get out of school to get their haircut. And I'm like, you don't need to get out of school to get your haircut. Dad, you don't understand. It's only down here. And they tell me how often they knew
So
exactly.
cool.
He's only down here this often.
Yeah.
And if I don't get in, it's going to be like 6 weeks before I can get in again. I need to get a haircut. I'm like, dude.
So cool, man.
Yeah.
So cool.
Get out of school, man. I don't
Yeah. I will say when I came back into the Coeur d'Alene area, a lot of people were excited, myself included. I love Sandpoint, don't get me wrong, but yeah, the Coeur d'Alene area is where I got my start, and it was very good to come back here.
Yeah. There was like the Miller household was a little bit easier.
Yeah.
When it was a little bit easier, that they didn't have to know that you were, because you weren't. Was you like 2 days a week or 1 day a week or something like that?
When I was in Sandpoint, it was and then eventually I was in Sandpoint full time, so I was not even in Coeur d'Alene at all.
Yeah, I think that didn't Kaysen drive up there one time to get a haircut?
He might have,
Yeah, I think he did. I was like, you're going to freaking Sandpoint to get a haircut?
Yeah, I think that's what I said. I said, are you crazy? Yeah.
Like, he was like, why would you even ask? I only get my haircut by Enrique. Yeah. Like, that's a dumb question.
I was very surprised at how many people actually came up to see me from Coeur d'Alene, man. So, very humbling experience for sure. Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, so you've you've been an entrepreneur owning this Mavericks at the Den for 3 years now.
Yes.
So if you could take your knowledge from right now, 3 years in, and give it to younger Enrique 3 years ago, what would you tell younger Enrique 3 years ago?
That's a great question. I would say don't rush the process. Probably when I started, I wanted to get people in there right away to start making money. Yeah. And I had to learn kind of the hard way. Not everybody fits, and that's okay. So don't rush to bring people in if they don't fit the culture.
Yeah, that's good. Those are good words, man. Don't rush the process.
Bring the right people in. And if that takes a little bit of time, I think it'll be worth it in the long run.
Yeah, that's good. Those are good words.
Yeah. That'd probably be my biggest one right there.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. I think especially when, it's different for an entrepreneur, because I think that most entrepreneurs would literally say that exact same thing. Like, dude, that paycheck isn't guaranteed.
Right.
So the default is, dude, I got to do whatever I can do to make sales or to get the product out or to get the service out or whatever. And you go in, 3 or 4 or 5 years in, I think a lot of entrepreneurs would say the same thing. They might not be able to word it as eloquently as you did, but they would say, oh, dude, I probably focused on, the wrong things early on because I was trying to get business.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So what do you think you've done really well in 3 years, in your 3 years?
Oh, man. That's a tough one, because some days I don't think I do anything well. I would say that being a barber myself, I look out for our barbers. So I know what they need to do their job properly. And I know what they need from me to do their job properly. And so I'm always kind of on speed dial to make sure I can get them what they need.
Yeah, that's good.
And so that they're never lacking, and so they're never unable to perform their best job, if that makes sense. Right. So, yeah, just making sure they have their product stocked, making sure that they are able to offer their services, making sure that their towels are clean. The stuff that's really not so sexy, that's what I try to do on the back end so that they can have a good business.
Yeah. Because in some aspects, obviously you have customers, but as a business owner, your barbers, the guys that work for you are kind of, and the people, I shouldn't say, the 2 men and the lady that work for you are kind of your customers. You're trying to make them, you're trying to make them successful and them happy and give them what they need. So that's great. So man, so you've been in Coeur d'Alene now, what, about 5, 6 years or 7 years, something like that?
About 6 years now.
So what do you like about Coeur d'Alene the most? Having not grown up here, I've been here 55 years.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think I probably take some things for granted.
Sure.
What do you like about Coeur d'Alene the most?
Man, the air just feels clearer up here. I grew up in a big city, so there's smog everywhere and smoke everywhere. And I don't know, you just step outside and it just feels nice out here. Even on the cold days, it feels nice. There's beautiful nature all around. And the people are genuine people, I feel. You don't get a lot of BS from people around here. And you also don't get a lot of just fakeness, I would say. A lot of interactions that I have on the daily with people are just genuine.
Yeah,
so
I would agree.
That's a very cool thing.
Yeah, we went away to, my wife and I, we went away to college and finished college. But when we were done, it was kind of like, where do we want to raise a family? Mm-hmm. It wasn't even a question. We're like, we're coming back here to raise our family because for those things. I think there's just a way that people go about life.
I agree.
I don't know. It does. Genuine is a great word.
Yeah. And now that I have my daughter, same thing. This is where I would want to raise my daughter.
Yeah.
And now that I've had her, I've noticed different things as far as, families and stuff like that. And people are very family oriented around here. Very much so.
Yeah.
And
you definitely start noticing things way differently when you have kids.
Big time. And so I would say since having her, that would be another thing that I would put on my list is that, families are very well, perceived or taken in here.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So obviously you're busy with the salon, busy with Mavericks at the Den, a new dad. But when you get some time, what do you like to do? Like, what do you like? Hobbies? What do you like to do with your free time?
Oh man, I'm an athlete, so I love moving my body in any way I can. So I injured my back a few months ago, but when it heals, jiu-jitsu.
Oh, do you?
Jiu-jitsu,
Yeah, a lot of wrestlers do jiu-jitsu.
Yep. It's kind of a natural transition for wrestlers. But I also love, like Muay Thai, kickboxing, stuff like that.
Okay, I've never done that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Swimming, getting in the gym. So just moving my body. But I'm also a huge nerd. So I will video game it up sometimes if I can.
What games do you like?
Oh man, I love so many games. In 2K, this game called Arc Raiders. I'll play Fortnite with my little brother sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just fun. Yeah, and then this is really nerdy, if anybody out there knows, but it's called Warhammer. My brother just got me into that.
What is that? What is that, dude? I've never heard of that one.
I've tried to explain it, and I've tried to make it sound cool, but you really can't. But it's basically you get these figurines. You buy these box of figurines. You cut them and glue them together almost like you would a model car, but you're building a little army. And then you paint your army, and then you go find other people and battle against their army.
Okay, now, no judgment.
You know what? I didn't think in a million years I'd be doing it, but I am, and it's fun. Yeah,
that's cool, dude. Hey, man, each their own. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, dude, thanks so much for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me, Dave.
Big time enjoyed just talking to you
likewise.
and, getting to know you a little bit. I mean, I've
Yeah.
heard your name around my house like for, 6 years. Or I don't know, it's been 5 years. I don't know how long it's been, but basically all through Cason's high school and college. And, so we hear your name a lot. So it's nice to sit down with you and talk with you.
Yeah, man, it was a pleasure. And I'm glad I got to meet with you as well, Dave. Thank you, man.
Yeah, cool deal. Well, hey, man, if you're watching this, and I'm still learning how to get the podcast out there, man, but like it, share it. If you like hearing stories from people in our community, like you might know Enrique as the barber or the guy from, on Instagram or whatever, but man, getting to hear your story is cool. I mean, I totally enjoy that. It's like, that's like my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
And, but if you like that as well, do what you can to help me get the word out. And I will see you next Wednesday morning at 9:00. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Cool. Okay. And that was fun, Dave.